Hello and welcome to a beautiful day in Wicklow. I am down at my all-time favourite spot ever. Why? It produces the most amount of gold. The thing we have set up downstream is the Dream Mat. Show you that just on camera too. Just behind me here we have a beautiful section of bedrock, and this bedrock, it's producing some serious amount of gold. I can just work my way right the way down and follow the bedrock seam uphill. So I'll just give you a quick shot on camera too of how the Dream Mat is working. There's enough flow today that I can just run the Dream Mat unclassified. Let's go do that now. So what we're going to do is just shove a load of material. Camera 2, there's your material for the Dream Mat. I'm just going to pass it on through. Just drop it on in. It works absolutely fine. Okay, so you can see here where it's kind of hard to hold the camera and the shovel, but you see where I have an unclassified load. Just going to drop it straight into this loose box. No classification whatsoever. So even though I can run the material unclassified, there's a lot of big giant rocks in here. So just in the interest of simplicity, it's very easy to classify the half-inch, and then I can feed it by the bucket, rather than going back and forth with each shovel. So just to get the bucket full of water initially, what I'm going to do is just simply use the sucker tube. You've probably seen these before. These are the sucker tubes I make. If you want one, click on the link below to the Facebook page and I'll happily arrange one for you. These are absolutely fantastic. I've used other ones that just too much work to pull on it and it's tight, whereas these are brilliant. You'll like it. Watch. Onto a nice clay rich material. I generally find that once you hit the clay, you're generally not going to get any more gold. You might get a little bit of gold in the first inch of the clay, but that's about it. Just going to go a quick bounce to that classifier there. So just giving you a slightly better angle there, but all the rocks around here, it's hard to find a way to balance the camera, so hopefully you can see that fine. So what I'm doing is I'm sucker tubing. I'm in this section of gravel and just dumping it straight into the classifier. In a few minutes, when I get down to a point that I can't get any more gravel, then I get the shovel, clear another layer, and then we'll sucker tube that as well. I'm gonna grab the shovel and see where we're at. I don't necessarily want to dig the clay itself, but I do want to dig the gravel that sits on top of the clay. That feels like a nice big shovel there. See what I mean about giant rocks? I wouldn't put them into Dream Mat. You could, but there'd be no point. Because look, I get barely a tiny amount of material there at all. So what I'm going to do now is just have a quick look at the bucket and see how we're doing. If there's much material in the bucket, all I'll do is tip out the water. So that's about half a bucket for in less than 2 minutes. So what we're going to do now is going to head down to the sluice box and we're going to just run it on through. So you see there we have the half bucket. What we're going to do is very simple. Not even going to use a shovel or anything. Just going to dump it on in. And try and see if it is such a way that you can see it properly. Pouring gravel in by the bucket. How much easier can you get? Right, so a bit of a problem here. The difficulty I'm having at the moment is after running 2 full buckets, I clean at the bottom of each bucket and there's not a speckle of gold. So I need to do some sample panning because, as I said before, there's no point in running material that doesn't have gold in it. So first we're going to do is we're going to sucker tube this same section where I was getting gold out of late last night. And I say late, I was here till after sunset. So I'm going to go in against the wall of it. Oh, brilliant. Remind me not to edit that out. I don't plan these things. I think I want to get gravel from here. So what I'll do is I'll park the pan. Well, you can park the bucket there in future on top of that rock. Looks more stable. Okay, so we're going to go in against the side wall here. And I'm going to double draw a couple of times so I get a nice full load of this red iron stained clay material. I want to sample that specifically. If I don't find gold in this particular section, then I'll do a wide area assessment. I'll take one more sample from the middle here. You can get it now. That's good. Okay, that's good. So we've got enough there for a sample. I'm not going to pan in here because this is where I'm operating. So I'm just going to sit down here. It is nice when you can find somewhere you can sit down and pan. Also, eventually having a dam there means this is nice and deep to pan into. So all we'll do is, very simple, forget to wear gloves, very important. we're doing is just submerging it. Tilt it slightly backwards, don't tilt forward, because you look, you'll see stuff swirl out. Just tilt backwards. Falls back into itself. Bring it to the front, stop. Put it under the water. It's the act of pulling out of the water. So under the water, ouch. You'll often see people going like that, stabbing. You're going to lose gold. Under the water, and gently pull out. Okay, we've got a lead shot on there. That's a good sign. When you get lead shot, that means you're into the lower places. The gold could settle as well. There's black sand as well. Again, I don't salt, so I've no idea. If there's no gold in this one, then we're in trouble. We're going to have to do another couple of test pans. Let's have a look. Is there any gold? Would be handy if there was some gold in here. Ah, yeah. There's a small piece of gold. Right there. Right there. I'll just bring it around to the light. You can see it properly. Oh! Oh, there's another piece here! Oh, yes! Oh, now we're talking! Yes! Oh, hell yeah! Well, I'll just take the camera off my head for a second so you can see that properly. Look at that! That is very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. I was only looking at a smaller bit, and then that other nice little flake was sitting behind. Happy days! That orange clay stuff is where it's producing the gold as far as I can see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just continue uncovering downstream and just try and expose the hole that we were previously working. And as I said, what was happening was it was filling back in by itself. As gravel was washing downstream, it kept filling it in. You dig a hole, you go to the sluice box, by the time you get back to the hole, it'll fill back in again. That's now solved. So now we can just keep going straight to bedrock. Just keep digging and digging and digging. Let's go find the shiny. Okay, so hope you can hear me out at the waterfall. I've managed to stack the buckets. Remember I fell over earlier, so I put it on a nice solid base here. Bottom one will go last. This one will constantly be refilled. The problem I'm having is a clay layer here. Really, you can just about see it in there. Really, really solid clay. You can't bust through it, right? My plan is to eventually expose the whole clay layer, then I'll come back with the auger and then I'll bore down to true bedrock. And I know bedrock's over there, so we'll follow it back up. At least by exposing the clay, we'll figure out where the bedrock is, and we'll follow the bedrock up to here, fully expose it, and hopefully that's where the nuggets live. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to head downstream to the sluice box, and we're going to run this on through. You can see here its sluice is running perfect. A bit too much in it, but whatever. Too much material in this. Oh, I'll get it done. Speed at which I can run, just incredible. So what I'll do afterwards is I'll watch this particular scene and I'll see how long it's taken me to process one 3-gallon bucket, and I'll put that up on screen just so we can have an idea of how long it's taken. That's running perfect. Like, it's a little bit one-sided, and yes, if the sluice was facing that way, that would be the direction of the water, but this slab literally took me 2 hours to move it from there down to here, just with a pry bar and a shovel. Just gonna get this twig out of the way. The leaves and all getting caught in the sluice this time of year. Excellent stuff. I'm going to leave that little bit at the bottom of the bucket. So what I'm going to do is just going to rinse out the bucket. The bucket was thoroughly clean before I filled it. I made sure of that. So let's have a quick look and see are we still on the gold. Now, I just remembered that piece that I found earlier, that nice piece, and the other piece, the two of them in total, that's still in here. I haven't actually taken that out of the pan. Probably should be away from the flow of the water. Just want to do this in a hurry. Right, let's have a quick look at that. Now, let's say we have that small 2 pieces in here already from earlier. So if we see 3 pieces of gold, then we know we're still on the gold. So let's have a quick look here. There's those 2 pieces from earlier, and there's another piece there, look. Excellent. I'm basically taking a rake and dragging everything into the hole and shoveling it out, and then what it means, at least that way I get the rocks out of the river and I get the gold at the same time. We're on the gold. We're about 2 hours of daylight left. I have my headlamp as well, just in case. So yeah, just gonna crack along with it. Let's continue to find the shiny. Right, slight change of plan. That's the section I was working out of earlier. And as I was throwing the rocks up here, I realised this is bedrock. I knew bedrock was there, and I've also seen bedrock along here. So what I'm doing is, I pushed a load of rocks up here just to create a bit of a dam so it's nice and deep. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sucker tube along here, exposing this wall of bedrock, and work my way down. Oh yes, I found it! Look at that! When you sit down for lunch, you find it right there. That's the other bedrock wall. So expose this one, expose that one, and we go straight down, and then we go upstream. My long-term goal is basically from the sluice box where it is bedrock. I want bedrock, 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 all the way up to that giant big rock that we lifted a couple of weeks ago. I know full well that this area is popular, so I won't be releasing any of these videos until every scrap of gold is gone from here. So by the time you watch this video, I will have already cleaned out the entire place. So as you saw there, while I was on a quick break, I exposed bedrock, realised bedrock's there, I knew bedrock is there. So what I did just before the break was I dragged all these rocks up to place, and I've got to move the buckets and things. The reason I've done that is that orangey clay material that I'm digging into is showing up here as well. Where you see that orangey iron stain material, that's where you're finding gold as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sucker tube across here where the bedrock is there and bedrock is there, clean off this entire section. So I'm going to power ahead with this. I've only about, I don't know, 45 minutes of sunlight left. Oh, there we go. See that colour difference? See that? That iron stain. You can see it perfectly in the sluice, in the classifier, and you can see it underwater there as well. Okay, I have thoroughly pushed the limit on this one. I kept saying, one more shovel, just one more shovel. You can see where the mat's nice and clean. That's washed out into that bucket down there. Oh, I tell you, I pushed the limit too far. I'm a wreck. I ran 5 buckets of half-inch, and then I probably ran, I'd say, no exaggeration, about 40, maybe 50 shovel loads of just shovel her in, take off the big rocks and throw it on through. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take out these big rocks, wash them off nice and gentle. Not a whole lot of cons, there's never much cons with Dream Mat. And there we go, that little bit there, that's it. Right, I'm going to head upstream, so I'm not panning into the same section I've been working. Now there is 2 pieces of gold already in there. I haven't taken them out, so actually 3. It's our first test pan and then our second pan. So I'm rather hoping there's something very nice in here. We are exposing the bedrock, and we're working on top of the clay. The clay acts like a false bedrock. You can't get any better. Okay, here we go. Nice and slow. I've got a headlamp, so don't. Oh, that is heavy! Wow, that's very heavy. Look at my heavy pans. So there's not much gravel in here, so not much work to be done. So just stratify down. 1, 2. Bring it back again. And then 1, 2. 1, 2. Take her up again. Not much material. Check her on down. 1, 2, 3. We're starting to see lead shot on the corner, so we want to stratify a bit more because lead and gold are very similar in density and in weight. Right. Okay, I'll do one more. Oh, I saw a bit of gold in the corner there. Okay, I'll go to anywhere I can see some light. I do not salt. I have no idea what's here. There's already 2 small pieces in here from earlier on test pan, and there's another one as well. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Probably a bit too much for the backspin, but let's have a quick sneak peek, see what's here. Are we on some amazing gold? Are we on some amazing... Holy mother of Christ! Oh, I think it'll probably be Christmas of next year before I post this video. Wow! Oh, wow! So anyone who doesn't trust Dream Mat, just look at this. I'm going to just set the pan down for a minute, nice and gently, not lose it. I'm going to take off the camera off my head. Let's have a look here. So this camera H has a screen so I can see what you see. Oh yeah, well, that'll do nicely. It's all big pieces. I mean, they're all flat, but they're all large in size. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to snuffer up that gold, and the leftover cons, I'm going to take them home and store them after the side, and at a later date we'll clean them up through the cleanup system just to make sure we catch all the gold. But wow, that is incredible. Oh, this is why I do these live. I honestly didn't. I was just wrecked, put through so much dirt, and I was just shoveling and shoveling. One more shovel, one more shovel. Oh, Dream Mat, absolutely amazing machine. I can shovel straight into it. Pick out big rocks, shovel straight into it. Leave the classifier at home. Don't even bring a bucket. Just shovel straight into it. That is incredible. I'm absolutely over the moon. Right, I gotta pack up here and get out of here before it gets too dark. I gotta do a little bit more sample panning afterwards. Once I pack everything away, just keep the pan and the shovel and the classifier out and do a bit more test panning just to make sure we're still on the gold. And also, you know where precisely that gold has come from for the next day, which, if the weather is anyway decent, will hopefully be tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode of washing gravel through a sluice box with Dream Mat. If you enjoyed today's episode, chances are you like the previous videos I posted and the ones we post in the future. Don't forget the subscribe button. I'll sure catch you next time. We can all go buy more shiny. Bye bye.